Yo, 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 yo. It's our lifestyle podcast. Mike, what is it known as for short?
Uh, OLP?
Dude, we got Miggity Mike the Mayor. I cannot
Oh,
believe we got him to kind of gallivant on back into the podcast. And Mike, this episode 380, I want to thank, I'm going to flash it right here, Scraping the Coast, arguably the biggest and baddest show in the country, the Coliseum, June, be there. Mini Truck Hall of Fame inductee, rest in peace to our big homie, Greg Miller. But Miggity Mike, I cannot believe you, John. I'm going to call you guys kind of the Gallivanter. You know, it's Miggity Mike the Mayor and the Gallivanters. That's like your side group, right? And
okay.
not that John's a side guy, right? But
He's too
you,
big to be a
John,
side guy.
Jimmy, Shannon, you got Dusty Rhodes coming right off the top.
Yep,
So
yep.
many of you stick, all of your collectively, you guys literally knocked it out of the park. And I got to thank you guys for putting on just a hell of a show.
We had a great, great year. I mean, we had so many people that were just excited that they were back at a show. It's the first show of the year. And man, what a way to kick it off, bro. We actually absolutely had a blast. The event, it's all new people there at the venue now, as far as that run the place. And they were excited for the show. It was our first time there with the show. And it went off. We had no issues, no problems. And it looked, I just want to thank everybody for making it where we had no issues, because it looks really good for all the new higher ups there at Destination Daytona. So we had went through a change last year and had new people, and now there was new people already again this year for this show. And they sent us nothing but, guys, you guys absolutely killed it. Enjoyed your group, enjoyed, everybody, all the different restaurants there. Everybody went and supported all of them, and the hotel, and everybody was happy with the way everything went down. And I mean, we were absolutely happy because they want us back. We haven't had our actual meeting yet, but it's
Hold on.
we got a malfunction. Hey, I tell you what, Sanford and Sons would be so proud, bro. They would be so proud. This room of everything that you have going on here is just amazing. I just want you to know that.
Mike,
You're missing one of your Hot Wheels up there, though. I
if
want you to take.
yeah, if you were a stagehand, you would have been right on cue, man. Right on cue. But hey, Eastbound Getdown is quickly becoming arguably one of my favorite shows in the Southeast, right? But while Mike and I are talking, I want to give a huge shout out to Hammered Weekend Wear, one of our key partners, HAMMER, weekendwear.com. Hit them up. That steel flame design was amazing. So we want to give a huge shout out to Adam and Dizzy. They're doing big things. Please go out and support the real deal if you can.
No, absolutely.
Mike, here's the great thing. You have, really these car shows, these truck shows, if you will, it's in your blood, right? And what I love about it is the team that you assemble, right? You guys are all working harmoniously. And when you think about Friday, everybody kind of floating in the town, some on Thursday, Friday night pre-party into Saturday, just a beautiful day. A lot of comments on social media that said, hey, I will be there at EBGD 2026. And we're glad to see that, because I can tell you this, the venue is something very cool. Many of you are looking to get into the VIP section. Mike, I know it's a little bit more expensive, but I can tell you this, the photo ops are great. I know just the amount of videos that we were able to do, and then you've got those new bright lights. It really makes like Damian Davis, right, of Devil Boy Media, a guy like that can kind of come into town. It makes his job, I'm sure, a little bit easier. Day or night, you can get those good photo ops.
Man, the photo ops were off the chain, and low key media. I mean, I got to send out a huge thanks out to ODB, because my man was on a mission all weekend long to get out there and pop off those damn videos. And man, you have put out some serious, awesome videos, and the likes, the follows, you name it, man, you captured it, at Eastbound Getdown. And I can't thank you enough for all the badass videos that you put out there for everybody to see.
Hey, you're far too kind, but here's what I loved, Mike, most about the show. And I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you, the camaraderie of people, right? The Chad Lukes, I know Craig from Battle and Bama came into town. A lot of the NC kinfolk, of course, Severed was there, but Aftermath went hard in the paint, right? But you also have like Delaney, right? Delaney floats in with not his But you look at what they did, all of the under the pavilion. I missed the guy that was shooting off the $100 bill willies. I heard he had the $100 bill gun going.
Yep.
People were jumping for joy. But the conversations that we had. Let's not forget we had Dale all the way from Canada. The dude is real deal Holyfield. Just an eclectic mix of us crazy mini truckers, the base guys as well. When you finish a show like this, Mike, you got to feel proud of the team, the effort that was put forth to be able to say, "Hey, this was what the fourth
That was
annual."
our 4th year. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to be proud of that, Mike, as a team lead of EBGD.
Man, I couldn't be more proud of the team. And like you said, we have definitely got a good group of guys and girls. And we can't forget Kim. I think you said Kimmy and Shannon but Kim and John's wife she's absolutely amazing and she goes above and beyond. But without all those guys, none of this would be possible. So, after it was all said and done, we basically same exact number. We didn't grow any, but same exact, almost exactly the same numbers we did the year before. But there was still a lot of new faces, and so we can't be mad. I know there was a lot of people that were worried because of there was a lot of snow other places, and it's like Thad comes down. This is his 4th year in a row that Thad's been there. And drives all the way from Pennsylvania, and Lowrider Depot comes all the way from freaking Boston. He flew down this time. He didn't drive. They didn't set up a booth. But, TTP comes out. We got Phoenix Forge, new wheel company that comes all the way from Arkansas. And, they were a title sponsor. Down for Sound, title sponsor. We can't forget Stingray Chevrolet. Every year they've been with us, and they were our stage sponsor. And, Rev Heads, they brought out the Hotties this year. This was their first year.
I love Rev Heads.
Absolutely amazing. The girls were beautiful, freaking outgoing, working the crowd. It was really... and another thing that we did this year that really tops it off for us is our charity that's been with us for 4 years now. We raised $8,000 for them. And not only did we raise $8,000, but there was over 8,500 pounds of dog food that was donated from NC and the Freaks. They ended up having a little contest, and I believe NC ended up coming out on top, and I think it was by like 1,500 pounds, I think. But basically, and then, a shout out to Big Jim with the Freaks. They went and rented the U-Haul trailer so Sophie Circle could get all that dog food back to the shelter. So, mad props to the Freaks and Big Jim, and going out of his way to help the charity to get all that dog food back to the shelter, which, is right there in Daytona. So it's a local charity.
Yeah, good people. And what about like in Jenelise and Scott? I mean, the rumor was that Scott was charging Jenelise rent for all of the dog food in the house.
Yeah, well, I know basically he started charging the FedEx guy and the Amazon drivers for bringing all the dog food.
Yeah.
And to come to the front door because he had to carry it into the house. And so I think he's wearing a back brace now because of all the dog food that he had to carry into the house. But yeah, he started charging them parking fees why they parked in his front yard to unload all that dog food.
Scott knows how to work. I love it. You talk about the charity stuff, which is so important to so many different shows. And I love what Eastbound Getdown, also known for short as EBGD, does for the local community. Something for the truck community that I think is amazing. You had so many folks like Gooch, like Thad at Icon Signs. You had Robert Simmons, if I remember correctly. He had Trip from Freaking Weekend, trafficking DOPE, we can't say the word, but I mean skate decks, right? Skate decks across state lines, right? So Trip peeled in town. I think he brought a special car for someone maybe or something. There was something going down there. But when you think about all of the talent that comes through, that puts all those hours and those minutes and those days into those awards, and you get to hand those out on Sunday, you guys made some necessary kind of changes on Sunday to kind of move the awards up. Everybody was in favor of that. I know most people were able to stay, but Mike, it's also got to be a good feeling because you and John and the team put in a lot of work to line up all of those artists, right? So talk a little bit about those amazing people and what they did for you guys.
So basically what you're referring to and what helped us raise $8,000, we do decks for dogs. Yeah. So we have a collection of different artists that paint up skate decks. And then on Saturday, we have an auction, and that auction is what helped raise that $8,000. And you got, like you said, your Robert Simmons and Ben Crease and Smiley Soto and Daniel Smith and Fat Tanks, Keith, Fat Tanks.
Rhiannon.
I'm sorry?
For Rhiannon.
Yes. And then you also have Sean Rose donated one of his metal panels and with the Eastbound logo on it, and that that got auctioned off. Our cornhole board set got auctioned off. I know I'm forgetting. Well, can't forget Thad. Thad always donates a piece to it every single year, and he goes and he does the OLP award for us. He does the Mini Truckin magazine pick award for us, and he absolutely kills it, knocks it out of the park every single year as far as that goes. So, I mean, we got so many talented guys that, and then James Ellis, he actually did the wakeboard this year and instead of a skate deck.
And
so,
even though he wasn't able to come and Robert
Yes.
weren't able to come, they still make the provisions in their personal lives, right, in their business lives to get it done.
Well, hey, mad props to our boy Trip from Frickin' Weekend, because he's the one that got the board from Robert Simmons, from James Ellis, from Ben Crease. He got all three of those boards and brought them to Eastbound for us.
Yeah.
So and of course I can't forget, because actually I don't remember if it was Thad's that went for the highest or if it was Daniil from down south. Man, we call it Mr. Bass Boat, because man, that skate deck he did one of the longboards, and that longboard was just it was all bass boated out. So we had a really good group this year, and they absolutely killed it. And like I said, we raised $8,000, and on top of 8,500 pounds of dog food. So we had a great year, had a really good year. Everybody, the weather this year was absolutely, it was gorgeous. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not so good. But like you said, we adjusted and we had the awards, I believe, at 11 instead of noon. And we got everybody out of there and got everybody out safe. And, we can't thank everybody enough for coming out and supporting Eastbound Getdown. And yes, we had a lot of first timers, and they're all talking about how they'll be back. And everybody wants to park in that VIP section. So just as soon as we open that up, just make sure you get your spot. So
I want to thank DJ Mays for always coming down, supporting so many shows, just a great MC. I often tell people, if you need an MC, even for a private event, certainly look up DJ Mays Radio, of course, on Instagram. I did kind of remix it a little bit with the skate decks and the awards, but Mike, we posted a video of the awards, and again, many of those same names also spill over and do some of those specialty awards. And there's a lot of time, there's a lot of effort. The skate decks are great because they help raise funds. The awards are awesome, also great because, Mike, as you know, so many people, get that smile when they know their hard work. I mean, you look at some of those rides, the lifted guys, the lowered, the body drop, the rat rods, you name it. These kinfolk put a lot of time and hard work in, and it was cool to see. I always forget Tony from TTP. I'm thinking DTP, like down, disturbing the peace, like Luda, move, Mike, get out the way. But seriously, Mike, when you think about Tony, who's his right-hand man that does the autism show?
Okay, so that's Bobby George.
Okay, I get him mixed up. I know he had a late night on Friday. He seemed like he was moving a little slow on Saturday. I love it, but to see all of the lifted rides, right? I know some of you may not always, see the lifted rides and go, wow, maybe it doesn't do much. There was the one there with the pink chassis underneath it, all of the work. Yeah. I remember Courtney, rest in peace, Hollowell, years ago, writing about, going to these different shows, or let's say you go to a show and you're looking at something that you don't typically look at. I was talking to someone and they go, these trucks don't do a lot for me. It's like not my thing. That's okay. But they said, wow, you can't help but appreciate the amount of time and effort. And I tell you what, man, it was cool to see the mix. And I get the vibe of like a cow truck jamboree back in the day when you had a good mix of lifted and lowered. And I think that's one of the pluses that I enjoy about Eastbound Getdown, Mike.
Well, we can't thank Team Billet enough, because they came out with a lot of those lifted trucks. And that truck that you're referring to, she ended up winning Best Suspension. And she just finished that truck in that absolutely beautiful truck. And it was a girl's truck too. So, it was an absolutely beautiful truck.
Now, one of the things I'd like to continue to see, and I know that you guys are going to continue to build upon, and you did this year in that further out, you kind of have the main show area, you have the VIP section, you have the section kind of in the middle, and then you have at the far back, you have the stereo side. So I want you to hit upon that in a moment. But that middle section is fantastic because they had a little bit of an experience out there with the boom and systems. You also have the food vendors out there, which is fantastic. But like when we went and saw Fester, now Fester did allow our, Mike, we can't show the title of this bad boy here, but we are trafficking, this is legal. But I got to give you a shout out to Fester from Floor Idiots, right? You also had vendors out there and they were so thankful for the foot traffic. I personally felt foot traffic was up. And it's great, Mike, to see the vendors out there. Someone that wants to go out, pay the vendor fee, and go out there and sling some cool merch, and to see the food vendors and the vendors out there, even in that further out area, they loved it. They said, yo, Mike, time out. Do not move us. We want to be here next year.
Yes. No, and they're out there by the food vendors, and everybody knows everybody's going to go eat when they're at a car show. Yeah. So we try to put those vendors out there. And I ain't going to lie, guys, we got the cheapest vendor setups out of any show you can go to. So anybody that wants to be a vendor next year, make sure you hit us up, because we got plenty of space out there. And yes, DS18 was out there on full display. He brings out all his Jeeps, and super awesome guys with DS18. But you had mentioned Tony with Tony's Total Performance, TTP, and they were our Friday night pre-party and cornhole tournament sponsor, and they've been with us since day one as well. So we can't thank those guys enough, man. We had some really great, Lowrider Depot. Nick with Lowrider Depot flies in, like I said earlier, flies in all the way from Boston, and they've been with us since day one as well. So we have a ton of good sponsors, vendors, and we can't thank those guys enough, because we had more vendors this year than we've had in the past. And
gonna keep growing.
Like you said, the foot traffic, as far as the foot traffic goes, we had more spectators this year than we've had in the last 2 years combined. We had great, the foot traffic was awesome. And then, like you said, as far as the stereo competition, we put it way out there because there's a lot of people that don't like it, but there's a lot of people that do like it. And I think there was like if I'm not mistaken, I think there was close to 150 that was out there this year, as far as registered vehicles out in the sound competition. And those guys go out there and they do their thing. It's a place where they can go and they can do it. And they love being out there. And they might not have the nicest cars, but damn it, they sure are loud. That's for damn sure. So it's a part of the show. It's something that me and John have always liked. And that's where how we started out, was with that, the old bass thing. And so that's why I say, if you want to go out and walk out and see it, you can go out there and see it. It's just another part of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news is Dusty Rhodes, my intel, Mike, said, I know you're going to be happy to hear this, that he did not have to brandish a firearm this year. You know what I'm saying? Because normally, if the Packers are not one and done, he might have to get a little crazy. We're talking about Dusty Rhodes, right? So that was good news. I kept him over there, and Hank kept trying to egg him on. He kept saying, F the Pack. And I said, Hank, I'm telling you right now, Dusty Rhodes is going to slam you into the asphalt. But luckily, Mike, I helped defer another issue again. And
I appreciate that, because it does not take much for Dusty Rhodes to get wound up. That's for damn sure.
Hey, real quick, as we wrap up some of our Eastbound Get Down coverage here on OLP, Mike, just talk to us for a moment, though. You mentioned the bass stuff, right? I know you have a lot of good people. You have some key partners that kind of come out. So just make sure you reinforce those guys, because I tell you, even though I'm not into it as much as a lot of people, like you said, it's so far out there. I know Scotty the Body was able to kind of gallivant out there and check it out as well. But you give those enthusiasts a place, right, to demo and to go out there and experience those insane systems. I mean, I would have never imagined that kind of stuff when we were younger, but just reinforce a couple of those key partners.
Well, I mean, for example, Down for Sound was the title sponsor for the sound side, and he comes all the way out from Vegas. So Jonathan Price, he comes out and he does his thing. DS18 was out there as well. Now, they were actually in the purple section instead of all the way out there in the sound competition, but that's where he wanted to be. So, and then he was good about when he demoed that, they demoed for a minute, turned it off, and it wasn't all day constant. pounding. And so, that worked out fine. And Rogue Audio, they've been with us since day one as well. So those guys, I mean, some of the loudest, clearest, cleanest vehicles you'll have out there. So, like I said, those were three of the bigger sponsors. There was a bunch of other vendors out there as well. But like you said, it's just a place for these guys to be able to go and play their systems, do their demos, blow out their front windshields, and they're all excited and they're happy about it. So as long as they're happy and they keep coming, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. I saw Acrophobia out there. Low Bros, as always. Tiki Tony, I love that setup. I know that was kind of an adjustment that you guys had to make, and she worked back with you all. But that was such a cool experience to be able to go into the 73 Winnebago, to experience inside and out. We had a little bit of fun with it, right? With how many people can we stuff in a Winnebago? How many ladies now? I was supposed to be in the mix of all the ladies, Mike, but apparently someone had me, hemmed up somewhere talking.
Uh-oh.
So I missed out on that. But, like I said, the Chad Lukes come out and win Best Mini Truck. Tom Jenkins, right? All the way from AZ, Arizona, dude.
Yep.
I mean,
hey, he stopped and picked up Ben Miller from Texas. And you can't forget about our boy Lance and Matt Stone coming in from Texas.
Dude.
So we had guys from all over the place, and we definitely appreciate those guys that come from far. How about the two young guys, and I say young because we're old, drove their mini trucks all the way down from freaking Queens, New York. I was like, what? They actually drove their mini trucks all the way from Queens, New York. And the kid looks at me and he goes, well, it's 19 degrees back home. So he goes, there's nothing no weather this weekend that could ruin 19 degrees weather back in New York. So,
dude, when I left a flyer in their truck for Smutfest, dude, they had a smile from ear to ear. I don't know why.
Well, I'm assuming that means they're ready to get back in their mini trucks and come back down for Smutfest.
It's gonna be coming soon. The ambiance of everything going on, from the Friday night pre-party, under the lights, hanging out, not crazy bad weather. Saturday was just impeccable. Again, there's so many different things that are going through my mind, and even Harry and his awesome wife, up underneath that area, seeing a lot of the NC rides. Chump Change was out there, some cover trucks, right? So, but it was also a different mix of vehicles, right? Some of the same, but what was so cool is that it's a different mix, and I like that because I had an opportunity to see vehicles and trucks in my home state of Florida, FLA, old school acronym or old school abbreviation, that I had never seen before in Florida. And that is super cool to me. So, on behalf of the truck scene, what you and John do, I know just like many show promoters, you put your necks on the line. Speaking of Ben, though, wanted to mention that I think it's technically in December, but you have Turkey Drag. Guys come from all over the country out in the great state of Texas. So please, if you want to hit a very fun show, I got to do a better job. We have to do a better job of promoting this one this year. Ben is a great dude, and there's people going to that show a long time. So shout out to Ben for coming through. He had the scooter. He was out there promoing his stuff, hanging with Mr. Tom Jenkins, and it was a hell of a time, Mike. So again, congratulations, y'all.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And hey, first time meeting Mini Truckin' Mike. He lives right here in Sarasota, which is about an hour from me, or hour and a half, give or take. And super nice guy, him and his wife. And just the people this year had more time to spend with people, and because like I said, we got a great team. So they allow me to be able to go out and talk and hang out with people and shake hands and kiss babies, baby. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, and the last shout out I want to give, and again, I got so much going through my brain right now, is it was amazing to see Culpepper out there. He always supports.
Limited access, man. I love it. Great people.
I know Sticks rolling with that gang. I mean, Truck Club.
Yeah, no, gang. You had it right the first time.
Exactly. And, when you think of, how many good people are out there, guys that we haven't really maybe seen in a while, which I think is fantastic. So I'm just trying to look here if there was any.
Well, hey, man, we got to give it up to Phoenix Forge, too, because, man, they come all the way from Arkansas, drove those lifted trucks all the way from Arkansas to come out to Eastbound Getdown, be the title sponsor. And then they want to hook up with us guys because they're going to start making some damn mini truck wheels. And then they want to hook up with OLP because they know OLP can get the word out about these new mini trucking wheels that are coming soon. So stay tuned for that. But we're definitely going to be working together with Phoenix Forge.
Yeah, and that's a great thing because we've seen a resurgence of, I mean, I could argue either way on this. I mean, mini trucking is peaking again. I mean, I'm of the mindset that it's never left, but when you have Billy Bob from Billy Bob's Garage, one of our kinfolk, our Pacific Northwest Connect, right? You have him build this amazing van, which East Coast, hold on, you're going to see this thing real soon. You have this amazing van that he builds for Michelle, and you see the billet wheel company that gets behind him, right? And what's awesome is these wheel companies have realized that, mini truckers are out there. I mean, if you think about even the C10 guys and the OBS guys, well, mostly OBS, a lot of them are running these wheels that came out in 88, 89, 92, 93. So it's awesome to see Phoenix want to jump in. There's a little bit of history there that a lot of people do not know, Mike. We'll talk more about kind of how we've seen the wheel industry continue to change. And they were a big player and a big change, I think, that kind of went down a few years ago in the wheel world. So we want to continue to highlight Kennedy and what they're going to be doing. And then hopefully we're going to have some pretty cool things to show you guys real soon. Because, Mike, I have a billet addiction. You know what I'm saying?
I know
stuff hanging around. I mean, like guys like you, I mean, no offense, you and Shannon got, the kind of the gold toilets and kind of the Trump deals and all that. I've got like billet, silverware and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's healthy, but I mean, it's good.
Hey, I don't think it'll kill you.
Right. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But again, Eastbound Getdown, and then Phoenix is Fenix. If you're curious about Phoenix Forge, look them up on Instagram and Facebook. You might be going, what vehicle has recently ran Phoenix Forge wheels? Well, none other than Mr. Mike Barsha, No Compromise Dually. His truck currently has Phoenix Forge wheels on it. You can see it there at EBGD, Eastbound Getdown. So pretty cool stuff there, Mike. Mike, I got some breaking news for you, brother. You ready for it? Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Lone Star Throwdown may be
Always.
sold out. Okay. It may be in terms of registrations. All right. But if you go to LoneStarThrowdown.com, like I am right now, we are technically at the time of this recording, 16 days away. All right. If you go to show info, want to reinforce, you got the show on the 23rd in Conroe, Texas. All right.
Yeah.
So please gallivant on out to Texas. You will not be disappointed. You talk about, I think, a $20 wristband, the value that you get there. It's going to be amazing. And then, Mike, here's the big breaking news. We do have Mr. Brian Gendro from the Chop Shop, the OG, first negative camber truck on the cover of Mini Truckin' Magazine. He will be in the OLP booth signing autographs and more. He may be bringing some merch out as well, which is going to be super cool. Always love chatting with Brian. I love when he shows the photos that he's been showing in some of these amazing Facebook groups. There's no more bigger OG, in my opinion, in the mini truck scene right now than Brian Gendro. And salute, Mike. It's pretty cool he's going to be hanging out with us jabronis, dude.
You nailed it. Us jabronis, us nobodies, us little people. So, yes, make sure you come by and check out the OLP booth and see Mr. Genro. That's going to be pretty damn cool.
LoneStarThrowdown.com. We're going to wrap this up with a few things here. The general updates. Again, we are super excited for Mini Nats, also known as Southeast Mini Truckin' Nationals, but we call it Mini Nats. We're going to see you all hopefully in the month of April in Maggie Valley. Mike, it's just an amazing place. And remember, just 6+ months ago, well, less than 6 months ago, they went through a tragic issue in that area, right? With some of the flooding and the downpouring and things like that. So, keep that stuff in mind, when you travel into that area and you spend money at these restaurants and stuff. I can tell you what, man, these people on an average year are so thankful. Think about when we go to Pops's place for breakfast, Mike.
Man.
So thankful that we're there spending money. We're not tearing up the city. Pops said, yo, you guys are great. We love these mini truckers. So keep that in mind.
Dude,
Bring a little
Pops
extra
do
money
for us, just us little guys. What did he do for us last year before we burned rubber out of town?
Dude,
he opened up early, let us in,
yeah,
and fed us before we hit the road.
Yeah, I look out the window and Mike has got my truck doing a power brake with smoke bellowing.
Oh, you
And
wasn't
all of a
supposed to rat
sudden,
me out.
yes, all of a sudden he goes, hold on. He jams it into park and he runs in Pop's place, banging on the door. And he says, yo, we hungry. I thought he was doing the Zeke, feed me. But Mike was going, we hungry. He goes, we closed. And then Pops actually opened up and said, hey, we'll cook you a warm meal. So they're good people, right? So Jason Bell and all of the people out there, I can tell you what, the guy's got a heart of gold, as does Sean Rose. And I want to give a huge shout out to Sean Rose because Sean Rose of Rose Metalworks, I talked with him at Eastbound. Yeah. And he wants me to remind everyone he is going to be doing kind of seminars, right? There's going to be some opportunities. So please, Rose Metalworks, everything they're doing with spreading the love, show them some love. And oh, by the way, they'll be at Mini Nats, if you want to get in his ear and talk to him about how he can maybe come to your event or help your community or maybe some of the high school kids and the type of things that he's looking to do. So Mike, Sean Rose, Jay Bell, you say those two names, bro. That's like Kobe and Shaq. You know what I mean? I got their back.
Exactly. No. We're always a fan of those guys. But hey, before we get to Mini Nats, we can't forget Florida's favorite nighttime show, bro. After Dark, Lovers Weekend, February 14th, Valentine's Day weekend. So that's Saturday. Get down to Clearwater, Quaker Steak and Lube for After Dark. And hey, then we got Florida's other favorite show. What is it? We're in May now, and I believe it's the second weekend of May, May to Steel. It's the loudest, the biggest audio show in the state of Florida. So make sure you guys check out May to Steel. Your boy Goat and John and Keith, they put on a hell of a show. So you guys go and check out maytosteel.com, check out Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff, and check out May to Steel as well.
And I can tell you this, their club games are always fun. They're entertaining. They've got this awesome t-shirt thing they do every year. So it's super, super awesome. But I'm so excited for these different shows. We're lucky in Florida. I mean, we even had more a few years ago. And arguably some people go, hey, there's too many shows. But nobody's going to ever argue with supporting the local stuff. There's a lot of mini truckers. There's a lot of great family fun that you can have at these events. And for instance, with After Dark, there's no fee to get in. So if you want to get out of the house on an evening that's going to be beautiful in Florida, come on out and do it.
Oh, you can't go wrong there. And they got some good food there too. So Quaker Steak and Lube got some good food, good chicken wings, great beer. Come out and hang out with the fellow mini truckers.
Mike, I got one question for you.
Are you
ready?
I'm always ready to get it wrong. Let's do this.
So listen, the big game is this weekend. I know we can't say the words. DJ Maze's favorite topic. The big game is this weekend. I know you guys are going to have a Blizzo is out, Piz already, a Blizzo out. But this one's just a little fun. I know Joey Whitby, maybe Chad, they might be slamming the dash, right?
Oh, I mean, they are.
Dude, slam, dance. But here's the question. Who played in the first Super Bowl?
The first Super Bowl?
Yes, sir.
Wasn't it Kansas City Chiefs?
Correct, yes.
Oh, you want both teams?
Yeah.
And I know it was Kansas City Chiefs, and I want to say it was Green Bay Packers.
Yes, man. If you got that wrong, dude, I was going to put a dagger through your binder, dude.
Don't do that.
Dude, the new Karate Kid, did you see the new third part? The new trailer's out.
Yeah.
Dude, Daniel's son, bro. They're going to bring back the song, I think. You're the best around. Nothing's going to. But listen, a Super Bowl won January 15th, 1967. My pops, rest in peace, watched it. All the championships that the Packers won prior to the Super Bowl. But listen, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not a Chiefs hater. Made the best team win. It is going to be pretty crazy to see potentially the only time ever a three-peat. And then Kendrick Lamar, he just swept at the Grammy, so it's going to be interesting. I wonder if I could get some money, Mike, if I was a bet man. I want to be able to bet on if Kendrick Lamar is going to play Not Like Us or not, the Drake diss.
Oh, of course he is. Now the question is he playing it first or is he playing it last?
Keep in mind, Drake has a deal with the NFL with his collection of clothes. And rumor has it that Drake has threatened that they cannot play it in the stadiums, right? So this diss track is brought into the new millennium, dude. I mean, when you got a diss track that's winning a Grammy, I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Hey, so how many Grammys did he actually win?
This time, I think he won 5 this year.
You're correct, buddy. Good for
5,
you,
dude.
Johnny. Good for you.
Johnny.
Hey, yeah, number 5's alive. Hey, check this out. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Chad or Joey did not get that question right.
Man, I know Joey. He talked to me the other day. Man, he has to brush up on his NFL trivia.
Yes,
you know
I guarantee. I can almost guarantee that they did not get that right. And Scotty the Body definitely did not get that right.
And if I remember correctly, I do not think the 100% broadcast of Super Bowl I is anywhere. I don't think anybody has a 100% broadcast. There was someone years ago that I think the story I read that there was somebody that found a tape that was supposedly an executive that had taped the whole broadcast, and they were trying to sell it to the NFL or something. And the NFL was like, no, we're not going to buy it. But I do not believe 100% of the OG broadcast is I think it's lost technically. I mean, a lot of it's available, but not every piece of it. I don't know.
Okay.
Mindless.
Now that I did not know.
Trivia with Mike is brought to you by Garage Gear Clothing. Now, hear me out, kinfolk. With Lone Star Throwdown coming up, right? A stone's throw, a tennis ball throw from the Lone Star Throwdown vendor booth, right? That's under the biggest pavilion there. You're going to see Garage Gear Clothing. Go by. A lot of times they have free CK magazines. Let them know that OLP sent you. They've got stickers, shirts, sport trucks. They've got so much cool stuff on their merchandise. Let them know that OLP sent you. Mike, I just want to kind of wrap up with a few things. We want to thank Local Rides Magazine. Okay. Local Rides continues to support the scene. You can go to Local Rides with a Z magazine and you can purchase their mag, localridesmag.com. I also want to thank the Freaking Weekend. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but 3 months after our title sponsors event, so Scraping the Coast is in June, right? That June 20th date. Yeah. You add 90 days, give or take, and boom, we're going to be at Harrah's back in Biloxi for the craziest time on the coast that I know.
Wildest.
You've got Friday, you've got Saturday trip, you walk across. If you need to drop a deuce, you walk back across, you got your nice hotel. Bro, there were people coming in, feeding me food and doing all this stuff. And, and they go, but what you didn't know is I stole your wallet. I got your key card. I was in your room. Yep. When they were coming in, they were saying, Mr. Murray, would you like to order more? What was it, Grey Poupon or filet mignon? And I said, yeah, sure. Yeah. So hope that's okay. I mean, I haven't.
Absolutely. Because basically while you were doing that, I had your OLP card and I was, it's all good, Bubba. It's all good.
Bro, now I'm realizing why I'm down to the pennies, dude.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. Hey, and don't forget, we're going to be looking for mini trucks to come and join us at Freaking Weekend because OLP is on Mini Truck Avenue. And so we're going to be scouting out mini trucks to come and join us and to get the invite to come and be on a Mini Truckin' Avenue.
Yeah, we want to make it almost like, think about the Bermuda Triangle almost of mini trucks, dude. The wildest, the coolest. And, there's Death Row Records, there's Death Row Lincolns, the big homie Tony Boss Bolin, but there's going to be Mini Truckin' Row as well, Mike. So,
yes.
We might have to get a chair set up like the Death Row logo or something there and have, Chad Luke or someone sit in it for a photo op.
Well, we're definitely going to have a photo op. That's for damn sure.
I appreciate the conversations with Chad Luke over the weekend, talking skate decks, the bikes. Him and Craig Rowley were out there flexing the bikes. There's so much cool stuff to do, Mike. And we grew up in an amazing era. We've touched upon so much the last 9.5 years. We don't know how much further this podcast will continue to go, but rest assured with some of the changes I have going on here, I'm going to be sharing more. It did delay a big announcement that we're going to make very soon. But I can tell you this, Mike, we are going to have something special at at Lone Star Throwdown. Not only is Gendro going to be there, we're going to have some new merch that you haven't seen from us. We don't want to even out the vendor yet on who's doing this stuff. We also got to thank Welch's Chop Shop. because Welch is going to be putting together our best of awards right now that we're going to be able to announce on stage at Mini Nats. And if all goes well, we will also announce the 2025 Mini Truck Hall of Fame inductees at Mini Nats as well. So to all of the people out there that continue to support the scene and buy the magazines and buy the merchandise from these shows, thank you so much, because we all know without the amazing people in the scene, we wouldn't have a scene, Mike.
This ain't possible. This is not possible.
This is part of our new format. This is going to be it for this episode. The next interview should come hopefully in about a week. And much love to everybody out there. Stay on the rise. Don't forget, we got a whole catalog on YouTube or via Podbean. You can go back and listen to all the episodes. To our title sponsor, Scraping the Coast, and all of the kinfolk there, we appreciate you. Mike, stay on the rise, my friend.
Always, brother. Stay low.
Very nice.